Did you know that The Lion King was actually animated by Disney's B team because their A team of animators elected to focus on the movie Pocahontas, a movie they thought would be more successful? Man, how history proved them wrong. Well, I guess you're always smarter in hindsight. That's why today we're taking a big leap into the past and revisiting The Lion King. A movie you're all probably very familiar with that came out in 1994. That's 30 years ago. Heck, I wasn't even born when this movie came out. Some of you younger viewers maybe only watched the live action version from 2019, but that's not what we're here for today. I watched the original again recently to find out if it's a timeless tale or outdated classic. As always, before we'll get into some deeper themes that may or may not make this movie timeless, I like to start by asking the simple question, is it still good? As in, how does the movie hold up on a surface level? The Lion King is of course about Simba, a young lion prince who got emotionally manipulated by his uncle into believing that he killed his father, then basically exiles himself for that, and then as he grows up in exile must overcome his past to reclaim his rightful throne and restore balance to the Pride Lands. It's a great simple story that was, as far as I know, Disney's first animated film to feature a completely original storyline. It's easy to understand and easy to remember, yet Simba's journey is presented in a very nuanced way with several iconic scenes along the way, but more on those later. A little fun fact for you, when Disney first started to work on this movie, it was supposed to be called King of the Jungle. This was meant as a metaphor for life being complicated, just like a jungle, and Simba needed to navigate this jungle. Producer Don Hahn explained, but then we threw that out because we wanted to focus on a simple story about a Lion King. At that stage we thought, why not call it The Lion King? If you ask me, I think that was the perfect decision. Not just the title change, but focusing on simplicity. Isn't it always the simple stories that stand the test of time?
The sun will set on my time here, and will rise with you as the new king.
What also needs to stand the test of time in movies like this is the animation. What good is a great story if the animation is terrible to look at after 30 years? However, with this movie, I'm having difficulties judging it. I mean, I guess it looks old, right? I mean, look what animators can do nowadays. But nobody's going into this movie expecting an animation that's supposed to look real. We all know that it has a drawing-like aesthetic, and I think the decision to make it look like a drawing is what makes the animation of this movie timeless. Because of the drawing-like animation, they didn't have to do anything that the technology just wasn't ready for at that time. That's why I think it still looks great for what it is from today's perspective. I mean, considering how Brother Bear looks with its drawing-like aesthetic that came out 9 years after The Lion King, I would say the animators did an amazing job with this movie. Another aspect that makes the animation of this movie timeless is that although nowadays we can create something like the live-action version of The Lion King, I'm not sure if that style is necessarily better. Something that all animated movies with talking animals that are supposed to look photoreal struggle with is the emotion. The animators in 1994 placed a strong emphasis on capturing the emotions of the characters, especially the lions, resulting in their relatable and powerful performances. In the live-action version, we can see that the animals are a lot less emotive because those kinds of emotions we see in the original just don't work in photoreal-looking versions of the movie.
So why worry?
Why worry? What happened to you?
So on the surface level, I think The Lion King is holding up pretty well so far. Now for a little dose of nostalgia and more aspects that make this movie great, let's revisit my 3 favorite scenes. Of course, what else could it be? My first favorite scene is Scar killing Mufasa.
Long live the king.
It's not that I like that he killed him, it's a pretty tragic scene in the movie, but my god, what an iconic scene. I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't know about this scene. Even people that haven't watched The Lion King know about this iconic scene. Did you know that throughout production, several of the animators visited Kenya to conduct extensive research on African wildlife and landscapes to achieve authenticity? They even went so far to bring real lions into the animation studio. The inspiration for the intense and chaotic nature of the wild beast stampede scene was drawn from these experiences. And apparently the 2 to 5 minute long stampede scene took Disney CGI animators more than 2 years to create and involved writing a new computer program to govern the movement of the herd. My next favorite scene is maybe almost as iconic, and it's Hakuna Matata. Just like the first scene, I think everybody knows this song. For me, it's been a while since I last heard it, and it was really nice to relive some childhood memories. As an adult, however, I didn't enjoy everything about the meaning behind this song, but more on that in part 2 of this video. Last but not least, I loved how Nala was first hunting the pig, but then later they're all chatting together and everybody is cool with it.
She knows you, but she wants to eat him. And everybody's okay with this?
You might be familiar with the many jokes going around that make fun of the circle of life in this movie, especially about the opening scene where all the animals, including the ones that lions eat, are bowing down to their lion king. Sure, I get it, it's funny, but I also love that within this movie the circle of life is just accepted. They all know that lions eat certain other animals, and the prey isn't mad at them for doing so. Powerful themes are what truly allow a movie to stand the test of time. That's why I now want to get into some underlying themes of this movie that I also didn't notice as a kid. The most obvious theme in this movie, I think, is Hakuna Matata. The theme, song, or motto,
What's the motto?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
is presented very fun and playful and might seem like something very positive. At least I remembered it as something very positive from watching this movie as a kid. And that nostalgia made it one of my favorite scenes. As an adult, however, this theme turned out to be a lot more nuanced for me.
What wouldn't I understand?
No, it doesn't matter. Hakuna Matata.
What?
The older we get, we need to take on more and more responsibilities. We can be and should be held accountable for our actions, and other people maybe rely on us. Because of that, the negative side of Hakuna Matata suddenly stood out to me a lot more. While Hakuna Matata is a fun and carefree motto, it also represents escapism. Simba used it to avoid facing his past. Sure, there is something to be said about not worrying about something that we can't control and not worrying about everything that could go wrong in the future. The dark side of this motto is shown with Simba, who indeed grew up without any worries, but when his past life finds him again, he didn't work through his trauma. He just ignored it, but I don't think that's healthy.
Going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long.
Yes, you can't change the past, but if there's trauma in your past, you shouldn't just ignore it, but mentally work through it. In Simba's case, he already had a lot of responsibilities and other people relying on him as a kid, because he is the king and everything. And we see that because of the motto of Hakuna Matata, he let everybody from his old life down.
We've really needed you at home.
No one needs me.
Yes, we do.
His father even said to him that he got lost and that he forgot who he is. This theme really stood out to me as an adult, and it is pretty amazing to have a theme like this where the movie isn't afraid to address the pros and cons of thinking that way. And since Hakuna Matata isn't the final message of the movie, but just one piece of advice Simba gets on the way, it's totally okay with me. They do make sure to give Simba the, in my opinion, perfect piece of advice later in the movie.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it.
This is just great, and kind of completes the message by telling us you can either say Hakuna Matata, or you can learn from your past to change your future. Another aspect that stood out to me as an adult is the healthy relationship between Mufasa and Simba. I'm no therapist, but the father-son dynamic between Mufasa and Simba seemed very healthy and desirable to me. There is this scene at the beginning of the movie where Simba deliberately disobeyed his father by going beyond the borders to the hyenas. After Mufasa saved Simba from that situation, he makes it very clear that he is angry with his son and explains to him what he did wrong and what the potential dangers were.
Simba, I'm very disappointed in you.
I know.
You could have been killed.
But he then manages to pair that strictness and toughness with love.
'Cause nobody messes with your dad. Come here, you.
Oh no!
He ensures that Simba learns his lesson, but makes sure that he isn't angry at his father afterwards. That's the relationship I would want to have with my son if I ever have one. I could go on and on with several great messages and themes in this movie. Amazing themes like these, paired with a great original story and stylistic animation, make this movie a timeless tale that I could see myself rewatching again in several years. If you haven't watched this movie in a while, go and give it another shot. I think you'll enjoy it. If, however, you want to watch more YouTube, then this video about revisiting Monsters Inc. might interest you. Let me know what movie you want me to revisit next in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.